What's up, YouTube? It's me, Super Mario DJ here, and welcome back to Dayshift Freddy 3 Revamp on the channel. Now, it's been about a couple weeks since the last episode, so if you guys haven't caught up on that one, we basically started day 2. We customized the pizzeria. Phone guy returned again. We kind of customized the pizzeria, like I said. We started the day shift, and we got to a point where we could begin the first part of the phone guy arc. Now, if you don't know what the phone guy arc is, it's basically some bonus information on the phone guys that work for you, and it gets very interesting. Like it's like lore based basically, and it gets very interesting. So, just because Evil Run and phone guy arc tied on the poll back from the bonus episode, we are starting the phone guy arc in this episode, and we're about to get into some juicy lore. So if you guys are ready for that, hit the like button, comment down below. But I will say, if you guys do not want to see the phone guy arc right now, you guys want to either play this for yourself, or maybe you're covering this on your own channel and you would like to give your fresh reactions. I mean, if you still want to watch the video, go right ahead. But I'm just saying, if you want to have this fresh, not spoiled for yourself, you can click off the video now. But that's all I'm gonna say. And if you guys would like to know how to get the phone guy arc, when you first open Dayshift Freddy's 3, there's a thank you and read me. If you go to the bottom of that, I'll just full screen it. There's guides right here. So yeah, that's all I have to say. So let's just launch the game now. Let's launch the game. Like I said, we are about to start the first part of the phone guy arc. Things are going to get very interesting from here on out. So, let's get to it, guys. Let's not waste any more time. If you guys are ready, like I said, leave a like. Sorry about that, guys. Just having a bit of a drink in the background. This game has been aubergine approved. There's the lovely Dave screen. So yeah, here we go. Time to get into some juicy phone guy lore. Let's go. Alright, classic Ocean Man. Gotta make sure I have game capture enabled. Make sure Dayshift is selected. Good stuff. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna full screen this, full screen in a second, but yeah. Whoops, get this off screen for a minute. But yeah, we're gonna be learning about the black phone guy. If I remember correctly from the good run that I did, way back in episode 7 is when I finished it. But way back in the first few episodes when I finished the good run, I believe the black phone is named Harry. So we're gonna be learning information about Harry before he was a phone guy and all that. So if you guys are ready, it's gonna get interesting. So without further ado, let's just full screen this and get ready. So yeah, like I said, last warning, if you guys didn't, sorry. Last warning, if you guys don't want to see this, click off the video now. If not, we're about to hop into the action. So, continue though. And I did something off camera, I had to save on file 7 last episode to make sure my recording didn't crash, and it obviously didn't. So, off camera, I reset everything back to file 6. So, here we are. Henry Miller, level 3, the orange guy, Jack profile. That's our playtime. That's our total saves. And look at funny bendy number 414. But this isn't bendy. This isn't bendy related. It's Dayshift Freddy 3 related. So let's just load the save, guys. We have some stuff to cover. So here we are, back in the office where we left off last episode. So what we're gonna do is start by summoning phone guy.
Hello? Hello?
There's the classic hello. Hey, sir, what can I do for you? Tell me about yourself. Where to begin? Well, I'm an employee of yours, firstly. My head is a black rotary phone, in case you hadn't noticed. I hadn't. Oh, please. The state of Nebraska can see that your head's a phone. Oh, right. I'm an older model. I'm model 1401. A14, like our cash. 1401. All phone guys have model numbers, representing the location they came from and the number of workers they had been. Alright, yeah. And the number of workers they had been preceded by that location. I've had a long life with many tricks and turns. I served in the war like a few other phone guys. Wasn't even married, never had any kids. Side effect of dying relatively young, I guess. Interesting. He was in a war with other phone guys, so there were other phone men that were in the war. Was never married, never had any kids. And, you know, whatnot. So anyways, tell me about your own location. Well, I worked at quite a few locations. I started at location 1 in 1973 as a day guard. Location 1 was out in Hurricane, Utah, a typical Freddy's joint. After 5 kids went missing there, I was transferred to 14 where, last location I worked at was location 32, which I told you about on my first day. Forklift, wall, yeah. After that, I was put in a warehouse, I was put on warehouse duty, where I unloaded boxes from the factory. That's where I met Scotty, the company phone gal. That I know of. She's a real sweetheart, you know. Sorry, I went off topic. Interesting. So he worked at a bunch of locations. He worked at a location in Utah, Hurricane, Utah, which I think is the location from the Silver Eyes. And obviously, he talked about the forklift from when we first got introduced to him on the episode 15. And he also worked at a factory where he met the company phone gal, Scotty. So, I wonder what that's about. Tell me some Freddy's lore. Freddy's lore. Oh wow. Well, let me tell you, you came to the right place. I've been working for the company since 1973. You could do worse than checking out the company computer. You could do worse than checking out the company computer over there. Old new letters and logs and such galore. FYI, most of the company issued notes were written by yours truly, since I took over doing that long ago. Alright, lore. Do you know Freddy's name started out as Freddy Bear? We tossed out a ton of potential names for the character. Some idiot suggested Freddy Fazbear. What a moron. Thanks to us, we have the Freddy Fazbender that we all know and love. Our first ever location was built in Hurricane, Utah. Originally, we were gonna have 3 characters: Freddy Fazbender, Bonnie the Bunny, and Chica the Chicken. Business was booming at first, allowing us to come up with a new character on his own little stage. We ended up focus testing a new character using all the manager's children. Somehow, they ended up coming up with a flying walrus named Reginald, who lived in a dumpster and voted libertarian every election. We decided to pick a cool name and make it a pirate. Turned out to be a good decision. By the way, do you know that Pirates Cove used to have cannons? But after what happened in Montana, never again. So, there was going to be a walrus animatronic in the Dayshift universe. Foxy had Pirates Cove had cannons. They dropped the name Freddy Fazbear for Freddy Fazbender. You know, all the good stuff. And, one other thing. Let's talk Godred. Oh no! You chose to perch that accursed creature against my best device. It's your problem now. fine. Let's change the topic. Gladly. All right. That's all from Phone Guy. We already talked everything to Phone Guy. Alrighty then. I'll be off, sir. See you on the flip side. Hey, what I say in the outro. Now that we talked to Phone Guy, I think it's time to call the factory. Alright, time to call the factory.
Hello.
Phone gal, guys. Hello, After Robotics front desk. This is Scotty speaking. How can I help you today? After Robotics is still open? Why, yes, we are. These days, with the closure of Freddy's, we don't make new robots. Our machines are simply too old to build new robots. But we still rent out a few old fan favorites to private birthday parties. Did you call about renting a robot, sir? Yeah, I want to rent a robot for my business. Well, we're all sold out for the next 6 months, unfortunately. Sorry. Those old models are really popular. I understand completely. Thank you. That would ruin the Phone Guy arc, so I'm not going to say that, even though that's the more eviler option. Understandable. Alright, yeah, I understand completely. Thanks anyways. Glad to help. Goodbye, sir. Have a good one. I need not do that. Alright, let's call the factory again. Alright, time to call the factory again. We already talked about the robotics. We already talked about renting a robot.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, at the robotics front desk. This is Scotty speaking. How can I help you today? We already talked about these two. We could say that's all. Goodbye. Well, ask Scotty about your Phone Guy working with her. Hey, can I ask you a question, Scotty?
Sure, Shug. What's up?
Voice acting, guys. I'm gonna be quiet. Have you ever worked with any other Phone Guys?
Sure, of course. I've worked with a good few at this point, hon. Any particular model you have in mind?
Well, I'm working with an older one right now. He's, pretty stiff and formal, has a black receiver, and...
Harry.
First mention of Harry before the good ending. Harry? The one that I'm talking about is model 14-1, I think.
That's Harry, alright.
Ooh, Harry. Why do you keep calling him Harry?
Because, Sugar, that was his alive name. All phonies have alive names. You think I was born as Scotty? My name was Rebecca. I was a hairstylist before I was a phone gal.
Interesting. Then how did she become a phone gal if she was a hairstylist before then?
We all had other lives before this. The length and quality of which varied.
I think I could see that. What was Harry's life like? Okay, I've heard enough. Thank you for informing me, Scotty. What was Harry's life like?
Oh boy. He could barely remember it, hon. He's told me a good bit from after he became a phone guy. His responsibilities, having to write company logs after his whole boss died.
Wait, after his old boss died?
Hell, he was even put in charge of tracking down a rogue phone guy who was out searching for his lost kids and ended up calling off the search out of pity alone.
Huh. Tracking down a rogue phone guy who was out searching for his lost kid. Interesting. I'm sure that won't have any lore importance later on.
Harry's a sweet soul. But, well, he's a Generation 1 model.
Yeah?
Meaning, he's a relic from the 1970s.
Yeah, I know. He kind of mentioned that he started working in, like, 1973, so yeah.
Generation 1 models never remember much from before the phonification process.
the phonification process.
But Harry has demons. And those inner demons pursue him even now.
Huh.
Some things you just can't leave behind.
Oh? Well, this is very interesting. I'm gonna wait for the
Harry
audio
was
to
a
come.
young man when he had his accident. I always found that particularly tragic.
He was a young man when he had his accident.
He fought in Vietnam, you know.
Yep, he did mention something about the war.
I can only imagine how many death-defying situations he came out of in those jungles, only to die in a bear suit.
That does seem kind of, you know, a dumb way to die.
It's so ridiculous that I feel angry just thinking about it. I sure hope he doesn't feel the same way.
I guess we don't know if you said he never remembers anything from it.
It's honestly pretty hard to think about. He was still barely old enough to fend for himself, even after he got home from the war.
Oh?
Got a part-time job at the local Freddy's joint, ended up excelling at his career.
Alright.
He survived a war and lived a soldier's life.
Makes sense.
Order and routine came naturally to him.
Yeah.
But then... well, I needn't gossip.
Alright, before we hit what happened. So, again, we are starting into some lore about Phone Guy. Or should I say Harry. So Harry was a young young boy or a young adult who went into the war, came back out of the war, order and whatever came naturally to him, so he took a job at a Freddy's joint, and then he died in a bear suit. Presumably a Golden Freddy or a Golden Springlock suit. Assuming Golden Freddy, because, you know, it's a bear suit. Golden Bear, Springlocks, you know. So yeah, what happened?
Well, you know, usually in a lot of cases, phone guys tend to remember their past lives and try to find their old families.
Alright, that kind of makes sense.
But in this case, the opposite happened. When Harry went missing, well, his family came looking for him.
Alright.
They knew where he worked, after all.
Yeah. So, they went to his old place of work.
Even with his ridiculous phone head, his mom recognized him instantly.
Interesting.
Mother's intuition, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Ran over to him. Harry, we've been worried sick about you. Take that dumb phone hat off and come home. He had no idea who they were.
Oh my god.
His mother looked into his eyes, or lack thereof, I suppose, and said his name over and over. He didn't recognize them. He couldn't recognize them.
Ouch.
Harry's manager came in at that point. An older model, a guy named Abel.
A guy named Abel. Another phone guy?
One of the original 5 managers.
Original 5 managers?
A real bastard of a boss.
Oh boy.
He was the second model of phone guy, and it shows.
Wow.
God, he was barely a human at all.
Ouch.
When he died in a shooting, Harry took over writing company logs for Fassbender Entertainment.
He did mention that, yes.
Which is why he ended up at the factory with me, since it's basically Fassbender HQ.
I thought you were Athens Robotics, though. That doesn't make sense unless Athens Robotics was partnered with Fassbender HQ, Fassbender Entertainment.
Sorry, off topic.
It's fine. Continue.
Anyway, he kicked them off premises and had them removed by police for harassing his staff.
Wow.
Harry just stood there while his own mother was dragged off premises, calling out to him by name. Harry never really opened up much, while I knew him, as close as we were.
Oh. Was there a relationship going on between the phone gal, or Scotty, Rebecca? Yeah, I think it was Rebecca, and Harry?
He broke down only once, and when he did, he told me that.
Ouch. He was in there. He was seeing through the programming or whatever. That's heavy. How come he never told me any of this?
I don't think he even really believes that he is Harry.
Well, the good ending begs to differ, but yeah.
But, well, I think it's a fantasy of his.
I think deep down he thinks he is Harry.
The idea that someone cared enough to come look for him.
Yeah, I would understand that. I see. Thank you, Scotty.
It's no problem. Do be kind to Harry, won't you? I wouldn't bring any of this up with him, but, well, just show him that you care, I guess. He needs to know that people, care about him, and Sorry, I gotta go. Take care, sir.
Huh. Yeah, I like how the happy music kicks back in after all that, but yeah, that was deep. Like I said, this gets deep, and well, yeah, I think Phone Gal and Harry had a sort of ongoing relationship, probably, and yeah, that does, that does suck, obviously Harry dying, becoming Phone Guy Model 14-1. But for him to have his family come look for him and then not even recognize them, and then breaks down, tells Scotty this, and then deep down he thinks he's possibly Harry, but he doesn't know for sure. And in the good ending, like I said, he comes out and just says, "Call me Harry." So there has to be a part of him that knows he is Harry. And well, let's just summon Phone Guy again.
Hello.
Hey, sir. What can I do for you? We already did all this, but ask Harry about what Scotty told him. Hey, employee. Yes, sir? I called the factory and... You spoke to Scotty? Yeah, and, well... She told me some stuff about you. She said that your alive name was Harry. Oh, here we go. Look, sir, I don't know what stories you've been told, but well, all I know is that Harry has a real ring to it, Imagine introducing yourself as Model 14-1, as if you were nothing but a machine. I mean, the Scotch stick works until you meet another phony with the same name, or using the same name. Look, we all have weird memories and fantasies about other lives and better things. But all I know is when people say Harry, my head turns instinctively. It doesn't turn for Scott. I hope that answered your question. Yes, it did. Thank you, Harry. Can you tell me about Abel? Abel. Scotty told you that name, didn't she? Yeah. Yeah, she did. Why? Is there something odd about the name? Well, it is an uncommon name, yes, but that's not the source of my bewilderment. It's more that I knew or know who Abe was. I I mean, he did die years ago, and most of the company personnel split off into two groups after that. People who don't know Abe and therefore couldn't talk about him, and the people who knew him as a result would rather talk about anything but Abel. Most people didn't know his alive name, since everyone who knew it was too afraid to say it. He didn't like that. Scotty mentioned that he was you know what of a boss. Yeah, that's putting it lightly. You see, well, back at the beginning, the company was made up of 6 managers, one of whom was the owner, the company founder. After his incident, well, sorry, sir. I'm not up to talk about him. Too painful. You'll have to find another phone guy who's up to that job. Let's just say he isn't with us anymore, and hasn't been for a very long time. The others, though, well, I was one of the remaining 5 managers. You are one of the 5 managers, and you're in my establishment? Who are the other 4? Hold on, I have a picture paints 1,000 words, or so they say. You guys, look at, it's Harry and other phone guys. Ah, here we are. Obviously, that's me on the very right. Uh-huh. And the other 4? Well, they're all Scott Coffins, obviously. I know. You want their alive names. The guy on the very left was named Joe. He was someone I grew very close to. He got scrapped years ago after the metal around his spinal cord rusted. I don't know if you ever read The Joy of Creation by Dr. Henry Miller, but metal has a life force, and all life force experience pain. In his final weeks, Joe was burdened with a pain that, to this day, I can't even conceive of experiencing. Joe was cynical, but, well, like Carlton used to say, scratch the surface of a cynical and you'll find a disappointment ideologist. Yeah. In case you're curious as to why phone guys now have swear words hardwired out of their code, yeah, Joe is the sole reason why. Guy could teach your average soldier a new swear word or 2. Abe never liked that. He never liked Joe at all. Of course, nobody liked Abel. Most Generation 1 phone guys can't remember anything about their past lives. Joe saved me, though. I was the first generation model, and they wiped my memory completely. But he never gave up on me. I had no idea who he was, but he had years of memories worth of me. From a fresh-faced young veteran with a dodgy leg looking for any sort of work I could get my hands on, to the day I got promoted, to the nights we all stayed up drinking in the office on opening night for location 14, telling stories about our various stunts during our shifts. To the day Joe came to the factory as a phone guy, and I wouldn't let go when I saw how genuinely hurt he looked. I remember none of this, but, well, Joe remembers. Then, Terrence was the guy standing next to Joe. He was the last manager to be promoted before me. In fact, we worked the floor in location 6 together for a month or 2. Terrence was always an optimistic, and somehow he never lost that as a phone guy. He was always happy to be at work, to see the sunshine again, to speak to me, and to know that I was alive and well. One day, I asked him why he was so darn happy every day, and I asked him why he didn't seem nearly as down in the dumps as the rest of us. He replied, "My programming won't allow it." He might as well said, "I can't frown because I don't have a face." Terrence, well, many years ago, the elevator shaft broke down in the factory while we were inside. Ever the investigator, Terrence removed the emergency panel and decided to climb up to the control room on the top floor so he could enable the elevator manual override. Sure enough, the elevator rebooted and it wins to life while Terrence was still on top of it. It rose to the top floor before Terrence had time to get back inside. We found Terrence on the top of the elevator, and on the roof of the elevator shaft. We don't know if we could have brought him back, but frankly, I wouldn't have wanted to be brought back if I were him. Not like that. The guy standing next to me, on my left, was Everett. If you think I'm stiff, you should see him. The guy wore a suit long before he became a phony, from what the others told me. I remember the owner had a cookout that summer and it invited us. The dress code was summer casual. Everett turned up dead last, and surely enough, he was decked out in a formal wear. Joe stood him at the gate. "What do you call that?" Joe asked. Everett and Joe clearly had different opinions on what casual meant. Joe cried out, "You're wearing a full suit to a barbecue? That's not casual wear." To which Everett replied, "Nonsense, I'm wearing my waistcoat." I've never seen Joe belly laugh before that. Everett was a kind soul, perhaps a little too gentle for his job. Long story short, he tried to clean up a dead night guard remains, but, well, if you haven't seen any natural documents, you should know that there's a food chain, and that guy was at the bottom of the food chain. Should wait till the predator clears off before touching what they had been eating. Everett's failure was bad enough, so the pictures that amounted to the stitching he needed just to keep his innards in his torso. Well, Freddy tore each and every one of those stitches out, and Gravity took care of the rest. What about Abel? Well, here's the thing. Abel wasn't the second phone guy. Joe was the second, then Terrence, then Everett, then me. We all suffered various accidents, all spring-lock failures, I believe. Of course, once Abel realized what his spring-lock suits did to people when they malfunctioned, he decided that he would simply never wear one. He gave Joe the job once he did become the company boss. After Joe's accident, Terrence got the job. Then after Terrence's accident, then it became Everett's job, which Joe wasn't too thrilled about. Then, after Everett's accident, it was my turn. And surely enough, I don't really know what happened next. I have a few pieces of broken memories, mostly screaming, someone clutching my chest, probably Joe. He never admitted that it was him, but if it was anyone, it would have been Joe. I remember nothing much after that. Abel had taken me to the factory. Joe accompanied me on the way, but he wouldn't tell me anything from when I left Freddy's to after the process had been completed. Each of us were a work in progress, a learning experience, a beta test. Joe was the model that taught Abe to hardwire swears out of the phone guy AI. Terrence was the model that taught Abe to strip out some of the optimism out of the AI. Everett was the model that taught Abe to strip out the stiffness of an AI. Abel used those personalities to test out modules for the AIs. But, of course, Abe hated that the others kept containing their families, felt they were less focused on their work that way. So, he reworked the AI, called it Generation 1. decided to strip out the old memory and replace it with what the company wanted me to remember. All managers were furious. I knew that I know I may look like an old fart, but, well, I was one of the last 5, the youngest of the group. I don't think anyone took it as hard as Joe. All those conversations we had, the memories we shared. My old family, my old life. Gone. And while I may not have remembered, Joe remembered. We all had a feeling deep down in what Joe wanted. The company had broke me, and he wanted justice. All because I didn't. Or rather, I couldn't. Joe never told me what happened next, but one night, after we had had a few drinks, Terrence and Everett spilled the beans. Basically, Everett, Terrence, and Joe ganged up on Al when he got to the factory one day, dragged him into the production room and closed the door behind them, to the room that contained the machine. Joe told me that all the other company veterans had become phone guys, and that it was time for him to pay his due, since they all knew he was going to avoid it for the rest of his life. Told him that it was his turn to get his skull shoved into a rotary phone. Joe brashed a phone he picked himself and told Abe that it would be his new head. Of course, Abel didn't take it sitting down. Oh no, my skull won't fit inside that thing. It's too thin. Joe interrupted him with, "Don't worry, Abel." Joe locked the door. "We'll make it fit." I don't feel bad for Abel. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, or so they say. I always felt bad for Joe, though. You know, I imagine a lot of people would presume that I felt cheated with what happened to me. But I don't. Really. I don't have many memories of my past life, sir. Only what Joe told me. I don't doubt a word of what he said, but, well, Harry was the product of his experience, his memories. And that was all stripped away. By and large, I had no clue what I am missing. And without my memories, I really don't know what this company has taken away from me. It was bad enough for Joe knowing what the company had taken away from him. And that seeing the company take everything away from me, he had a burden of awareness. I don't remember my past life, but Joe sure does. And every time he thought about the memories we shared and the life I lost out on, all I saw was red. Joe remembered. Sorry, I've been rambling for a long time. I'm sorry, sir. I'll get back to work pronto. I'll see you on the flip side, sir. And with that, guys, we have completed the first part of the phone guy arc. I'm going to mute the music for a minute. We have completed the first part of the phone guy arc. Now, there was a lot dropped in there, from the fates of the original 5 phone guys, to what happened to Harry, to Joe. Joe was like a prominent figure in that, which must have been like one of Harry's best friends, or one of his closest friends. And Joe was like the prominent figure in that. Like every time something bad happened to Harry or happened to someone in the company, it was always coming back to Joe. I feel like that is important. Joe obviously does not appear in this game, but he seems to be an important figure, at least in the Harry storyline. And yes, you heard me say Harry storyline. There is more phone guy arc stuff to do later on, but for now, we're going to put it at that, and I'm going to pull out a full screen for a minute, because I'd like to see how long I've been recording. Jeez, 40 minutes? Alright, this has been a long one. This has been a long one. Well, next time, and I might live stream this, next time, we're gonna finish the Dayshift, and, we're gonna go into the salvage scene, and then the flip side's coming up again. So, yeah. That's everything. So, if you guys have enjoyed, do leave a like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated. Hit the bell to be notified for... Sorry. Hit the bell to be notified for more Dayshift the Phrase 3 content on the channel. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the first part of the phone art. Man, this was a long one, but it was worth it. So, yeah, that's everything. So I want you to stay safe, stay healthy, and as Harry once said, I'll see you on the flip side. Bye, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And yes, this was a long episode, but it was worth it. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.